This is NBC Montana News, getting the facts right.
You're looking at conditions in Missoula right around sunset. Much of western Montana seeing cooler temperatures tonight as we head into the weekend. Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us. I'm Montana McLaughlin. Well, there is snow in the forecast tonight. Could it affect your Easter? Meteorologist Matt Gray is tracking the latest. Matt.
Oh yeah, snow already going to be probably affecting some morning drives if you're traveling this Easter weekend because of heavy snow. Worked its way into Butte earlier tonight. A lot of snow-covered roads there, some snow cover as well over Lost Trail Pass, and lots of slush or wet conditions elsewhere across the state. And so it could be a little slippery as we head into the morning. So that's something we'll have to keep in mind already. It's already a little bit slow going around Butte over Lost Trail Pass. And you look over to the west, you can see a few more showers trying to work their way on into west central Montana. Over the next few hours, we're going to see that develop and those showers begin to move in. So later tonight, a chance for a little bit of snow around Missoula and Kalispell. As far as the rest of your weekend, we'll have more on that coming up.
Well, one of Missoula's oldest buildings made its final stand early this morning before construction crews tore it down. NBC Montana's Karen Faringer found out how people can still keep a part of the old Missoula Mercantile's history for years to come.
In a matter of moments, the Merc is gone. While some see it as taking away the town's history, Home Resource in Missoula is making it so that the Merc's history can be kept alive.
I think it was very important to the whole community that we had this possibility instead of just knocking that building down that means so much to people. To be able to take it apart by hand and get those materials back here where we can get them out in the community. And yeah, people can come get a piece of that history.
Duell says Home Resource crews were out for 7 weeks salvaging wood that could be repurposed. This is all just some of the wood that was salvaged during the deconstruction of the Merc. And Home Source officials say some of it dates back to the late 1800s when the Merc was first built. Missoula resident Amy Haught wasn't happy to see the building come down, but says she's glad materials weren't just thrown away.
Yeah, it's good to see that. Reduce, reuse, and recycle is what it is.
But one resident knew the Merc had to come down.
I definitely understand the problems that everybody encountered in trying to get the Merc restored.
But she says she's hopeful for the future.
So I'm excited to see the new construction.
Now, with the Merc down and materials salvaged, Haught hopes people find the Merc's trash as another person's treasure. Reporting in Missoula, Karen Faringer, NBC Montana.
Well, Home Resource says the Merc's wood still has to be denailed before it can be sold. They expect that process to be complete in about a month. Well, new details on Whitefish's City Hall and parking structure today. We're learning the project is already $1 million over budget. Well, we're breaking down what this will mean for your pocket. But first, here's where you can find it. The new structure will be here on the northeast corner of Baker Avenue and 2nd Street. According to Whitefish's city manager, the number of spaces and time limit for parking on each floor varies. Some spaces are free up to 3 hours, but some spots could cost you up to $40 a month. In total, there will be just over 200 spots. City officials say parking fees are necessary to keep up with maintenance costs instead of increasing property taxes.
For one, I don't want to purchase a parking space. I don't want to spend the money on parking. And I'll try to get a parking space where I can, just like I always have.
Well, there is no parking in the city of Whitefish, and when we have to come to work and we have to find parking, it would be nice to know we had a specific spot.
Construction scheduled to be complete on May 15th. A ribbon cutting ceremony will be on the 18th, and we will be there when it happens. Well, if you're heading out to any of Montana's national parks in the next 2 weeks, listen to this. Your entry is free. It's all part of the nation's National Parks Week. It begins tomorrow and ends next Sunday, the 23rd. But before you go, park officials say there are a few things you should know. If you're planning to head to one of the nation's 400 national parks over the next 2 weekends, park officials say be warned. You might find some roads and trails closed. National park officials say that's because billions of dollars of park projects are waiting for repair and waiting for congressional funding. Park officials say altogether, there are about $12 billion worth of maintenance waiting for repairs. They're for things like sewage systems, roads, or drinking water. They say some projects have even been waiting for repairs for decades. So we checked with Montana. In our state, there are about $308 million worth of repairs for 7 national parks or monuments. On the list, Glacier, totaling more than $179 million, Yellowstone needs $28 million, and Little Bighorn Battlefield needs $18 million worth of repairs. So what's being done? Officials from Restore America's Parks hope people will contact Congress. President Trump's been talking about a large infrastructure spending program, and park officials say some of these repairs could be made using that money.
Congress needs to invest funding in our national parks to address the maintenance needs. That's necessary to preserve our national park resources, but it's also necessary to preserve the local economies that depend on park resources.
But for now, park officials are still waiting to hear where the money will come from next. So while your admission the next 2 weekends is free, your access to the park may not be. Well, if you want to know how much money officials say they need for each park, find out by following the FAST link at NBCMontana.com. Well, the election for Montana's U.S. Senate seat is over a year away, but incumbent Senator Jon Tester's already gathered more than $3 million for his campaign. His campaign reported he raised more than $2 million just in the first 3 months of this year. Tester is one of 10 Democrats up for re-election in states that voted for President Donald Trump. He's also the only Democrat in Montana's congressional delegation. Tester is running for his 3rd re-election, which will be held in November of 2018. Now, earlier this week, a Republican state senator from Kalispell announced his candidacy. Albert Olszewski is an orthopedic surgeon who has served in the Montana legislature since 2015. Well, right now, a large-scale celebration is happening in North Korea's capital, Pyongyang, to celebrate the birthday of the country's founders, Kim Il-sung. Now, all this is happening right as U.S. destroyers are lingering just off the coast. The festivities are taking place amid concerns that North Korea could be preparing its 6th nuclear test in a decade. Kim applauded, smiled, and waved to the crowd today along with senior government officials. Under his watch, the country's been in an aggressive pursuit to put a nuclear warhead on a long-range missile capable of reaching the U.S. On Friday, North Korean state TV said the country would retaliate in a merciless manner against the United States and its allies if Washington chose to attack. Well, with this situation unfolding, the people of South Korea are getting nervous. NBC's Janice Mackey-Frayer reports from Seoul.
Tonight, South Korea is on edge. The top story on local news: new fears a growing war of words could spiral out of control, making Seoul, with 10 million people just 35 miles from the border, the target of a North Korean attack. The concern so high, Japan is reportedly looking at ways to evacuate its 60,000 citizens from South Korea if war breaks out. The hope here tonight that North Korea will back away from any test, lowering tensions.
Its ultimate priority is survival. And basically it's trying to find some exit that will help them to save face.
And in remote hills near the border, Lee Min-bok wages his own private war, launching balloons that carry leaflets into North Korea, telling people there about life outside a country where there's no internet and nothing but state-run television. It's made him a marked man. Cameras and police protect him.
Why does the North Korean regime see you as such a threat?
What I'm doing is sending the truth, he says, so they can rise up and topple the regime. Today's payload, 60,000 flyers and a radio. Cheaper than a stealth bomber, he says, and carrying a bit of him back home.
Here in Seoul, where it's Saturday morning, the streets still quiet on a holiday weekend, now overshadowed by concerns that North Korea could act at any time and without warning. Janice Mackey-Frayer, NBC News, Seoul, South Korea.
Well, the Boston Marathon is just a few days away, but tonight security preparations are underway. This year marks the 121st running of the Boston Marathon, but also marks the 4th year since the 2013 bombings that killed 3 people and wounded more than 260 others. Mayor Walsh says so far no threat to this year's event, but the city will continue to take certain precautions. Now, on the other side of this break, if you want to get out this weekend, we have some recommendations and trips that could save you from spending. Plus, before you make plans, make sure you know what weather to expect. Matt Gray has your forecast coming up.
Tonight, Fallon has Morgan Freeman and an intense stare down with Norman Reedus.
So that just happened.
Plus, Joe Zimmerman and thank you notes. The Tonight Show, NBC Tonight. SNL's all new with host Jimmy Fallon and musical guest Harry Styles this week on NBC.
For up-to-the-minute conditions and the most accurate forecasting, watch Brooke Foster weekday mornings on NBC Montana Today.
Liberal politician Rob Quist wants to sing a duet with Nancy Pelosi. Government-run health care with higher taxes and more spending. The liberal greatest hits. Quist and Pelosi support a gun registry, taking away our Second Amendment rights. And they supported job-killing Washington regulations that threatened businesses right here in Montana. Liberal politician Rob Quist is singing the wrong tune for Montana. The NRCC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Don't miss Conlin's 19-hour super sale this Friday and Saturday only. With daily doorbusters from 9 to 11 a.m. Save 30, 40, up to 70% off select bedroom, dining room, living room furniture, plus mattresses and more. Conlin's will be closed Easter Sunday, so your only chance to save is Friday and Saturday. Get 36-month special financing, plus daily doorbusters from 9 to 11 a.m. Hurry in and save big this Friday and Saturday during the 19-hour super sale, only at Conlin's.
It's Rangus Brother RV Center's Spring into Summer Sales Event. Escape into the freedom of the open road and the great outdoors in a Jayco Eagle half-ton towable fifth wheel with payments as low as $265 a month OAC. Or spring into savings on a new J-Flight SLX with payments as low as $99 a month. That's right, $99 a month and 0 down OAC. Spring is coming, so hit the road in style in a new Jayco, America's #1 travel trailer 12 years in a row. Only where a handshake means something, Rangus Brothers RV Center.
Get your forecast from the Severe Weather Alert team on NBC Montana.
Welcome back. Well, the weather's supposed to be bright and sunny for your Easter Sunday, but NBC Montana's Barrett Tryon has another reason for you to get outside and enjoy.
Your entry is free to the nation's national parks beginning Saturday. The National Park Service once again partnering with the National Park Foundation to present National Park Week. It begins this Saturday, the 15th, and ends next Sunday, the 23rd. The National Park Service is giving you the chance to venture into the parks on the weekends for free. Just another good reason to get outside and enjoy our nation's parks. A new moving study reveals where millennials moved to last year. Mayflower Moving's annual Moving Insight study found San Francisco ranked #1 among U.S. cities millennials moved to in 2016. That was followed closely by Los Angeles, Washington, D.C., Seattle, Chicago, and New York City. Rounding out the top 10 were Dallas, Texas, Denver, Colorado, Houston, Texas, and Atlanta. The #1 jelly bean flavor in Montana is cotton candy. That's according to a new survey out that poured over 9 years of sales data. Black licorice comes in at #2 on the list, and grape comes in at 3rd. We'd like to know, what's your favorite? Let us know on our Facebook page. And speaking of candy, Americans are expected to spend by the billions this Easter weekend. Candy sales are expected to top more than $3 billion alone. Clothing and Easter decorations are the other big spenders. That all totals up to some whopping $18 billion, the most ever. And that's your Consumer Watch. In Missoula, Barrett Tryon, NBC Montana.
Well, I think my favorite jelly bean flavor would have to be watermelon. Well, if you want to see how other states rank their jelly beans, we have that story posted on our app and on NBCMontana.com. Well, Target is recalling more than 500,000 water-absorbing toys that just might be in your child's Easter basket. The recall includes Easter and Dino toys that expand when they absorb water. Officials say the toys can expand inside a child's body and cause intestinal obstructions if they ingest it. They want to let medical professionals and parents know the toys may not show up on an x-ray as well. Target asks customers to return the toys to any store for a full refund. The FDA is also recalling teething tablets for babies. Here's what you need to look out for: Hyland's Baby Teething Tablets and Hyland's Baby Nighttime Teething Tablets. Food and drug officials say the tablets contain more of belladonna alkaloid than the packaging indicates. Officials say that is a dangerous chemical for kids. The manufacturer stopped making and shipping the products last fall, but the announcement is to make sure it's off the shelves.
And now Matt Gray with your forecast.
Well, meteorologist Matt Gray is tracking some changing conditions. Matt, what can folks expect for Easter weekend?
Yeah, it's coming in a little bit exciting as far as having more April snow and all these other things going on. But if you've been really hankering for some sunshine, I got some good news for you. We'll talk about that in a minute. We first have to talk about the snow that is remaining around the area tonight. And a winter weather advisory remains in effect. That'll go till midnight for Lolo and Lost Trail passes. I anticipate that is going to be expired after that and will not be renewed, but just about another inch or two possible in the Lolo Lost Trail Pass areas. A little wet, a little slippery out there in the morning. Another 2 to 5 inches possible tonight for Homestake and Bozeman passes. If you are headed east tomorrow, that is something to keep in mind. Likely will be some slippery conditions in those areas. Now, that's not the only place we got a shot at seeing a little bit of snow tonight as showers continue to move in from the west, but most of the activity or most of the accumulation should be in higher elevation areas as you get above kind of that 3,000-foot mark. So places like Condon, areas from Seeley Lake all the way to Swan Lake, so right in the Swan Valley, the Marias Pass area, a chance to see a little bit more snow. However, I think basically from kind of the central Bitterroot Valley to the south, we're pretty much done for the night. That includes Lost Trail Pass, as some of that heavier snow continues to move off into the southwestern part of the state and the central part of the state. You can see that here, just a few light showers remaining, and skies already beginning to clear near Lost Trail Pass tonight. And we're just wrapping up now with some snow showers around the Phillipsburg area, but a pretty strong line here that is going to be moving in later on tonight. So Missoula through Hamilton will have a chance to see a little bit of snow. Grassy areas may end up seeing some accumulation. Another shower area to watch is right here on the Washington-Idaho state line. That's going to be moving across northern Lincoln County and into the Glacier area. So places like Eureka, Polebridge, the Yak area, Troy, Libby could see a little bit of extracurricular snow there as well. As we go through the night, we'll just see showers in the mountains as we head into the morning. Fast forward even further as we head into the afternoon, we'll start to see a few showers pop up here or there. So right about a 30% chance of seeing one of those afternoon showers, and they'll be more concentrated as you head from Kalispell on to the north. So up along Highway 93 from the Flathead all the way to Canada. For tonight, temperatures will be right around freezing, a little bit above in Kalispell at 33, 32 in Missoula, Seeley Lake down to 28. For tomorrow, 50 in Missoula, 48 around Kalispell, 50 as well in Polson. Your hour-by-hour forecast looks pretty nice as you head into the morning. Good if you have any Saturday Easter egg hunts going on. Also in Missoula, Wild Walk Parade tomorrow, probably the most interesting thing that happens in downtown, at least this time of year. Temperatures will be in the 40s. Partly to mostly cloudy skies, and a great fundraiser for high school scholarships in our Lee in the morning. The Buttercup Run race is kicking off every hour, starting off in the 30s, but working ourselves up into the 40s. Overall, fairly pleasant. We keep the good times rolling on through the rest of the weekend. Green on the severe weather tracker. Folks, look at Sunday and take advantage of your Easter Sunday forecast, because as we head beyond that into Monday, rain back in the forecast through probably at least Thursday morning. But look at that, 54 on Sunday and some sunshine. Looking pretty good as well for the Missoula area, all the way up to 57. Some places like Thompson Falls, Libby have an outside shot at hitting 60 degrees. A much warmer storm moving in for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, with a few showers on Thursday. So Sunday clearing and kind of that warm before the storm. So it should be a nice day to get outside.
Right. Well, if it's going to be 60 up north, that's where I want to be.
Yeah, right.
All right. Thanks, Matt. Well, still ahead, a $4,000 grant sent to one of Montana's museums to help protect some of its history. That story coming up after the break.
Your life is in a state of constant motion, and only Spectrum can help you make the most of every moment. With Spectrum, you'll get the best in TV with a crystal clear picture and sound, plus more free HD than ever before. Just $29.99 a month. Call 844-675-2999. Then enjoy smoother surfing, streaming, and gaming with the fastest internet starting speeds, 60 megabits per second, with no data caps and a free modem. Just $29.99 a month. And when a picture or post can't say it all, get unlimited nationwide calling, plus unlimited calling to Canada, Mexico, and more, with no added taxes or fees. Call 844-675-2999. Make the most of every moment with Spectrum TV, Internet, and Voice. Just $29.99 a month each, with no contracts and our 30-day money-back guarantee. Call 844-675-2999. Spectrum, redefining what a cable company can be.
You just know when something sounds right. My life has been on the road, giving voice to the Montana we all love. And now I'm running for Congress because Washington's out of tune. I'll defend our public lands, not sell them. Protect Social Security, not privatize it. And fight for farmers and ranchers, not Wall Street banks. I'm Rob Quist, and I approve this message to represent all Montanans, not just the millionaires.
I think the most important thing that children need to know is that they are important and they are truly a gift to the world. I want them to know that in school they are supported and loved. I want them to really have a growth mindset, getting them to really think it's okay to make a mistake and to be a lifelong learner.
When we come in, she gives us hugs. She's really kind and she gives out Smarties. She makes up songs for class. She inspires us.
What I hope to accomplish is confidence within my students, a passion for learning, and I hope that when they grow up, that they look back and smile on their experience in first grade.
Miss Johnson teaches us a lot of cool things. She's like the best teacher in the world.
I think the payoff for teaching is that you really get to make a difference in a child's life. And I think that is the most incredible thing, and I am grateful that I chose to be a teacher.
KECI's Gold Star Award, brought to you by the Town Pump Charitable Foundation and KECI 13. This segment of the news is brought to you by Ridge Fitness.
Well, the Ravalli County Museum is celebrating tonight after the Montana History Foundation awarded them a $4,000 grant to help protect some of their old artifacts. Kevin Mackey reports.
A major part of the museum's mission is to provide educational programs for the public and to protect and preserve the thousands of artifacts housed here. The one-time grant will pay to preserve many of them.
Saving that heritage, local heritage, Bitterroot Valley heritage, Montana heritage for the future.
One example of where that money will go is to protect artifacts like donations made by the family of Lars Peterson. Peterson was a celebrated grain farmer in the Bitterroot. He was said to have won more championship prizes from the International Hay and Grain Show in Chicago than any other small grain farmer. He was featured in a Wheaties ad and was even called the Wheat King of the world.
His family just donated a huge cup that was given to him at the National Exposition in the Midwest.
That cup is now under wraps for protection. The Grange donated these grain sheaves from a fair display from the 1950s. These are historic images now protected by archival Tyvek wrap. The grant will help the museum acquire items like artifact storage cartons, trays, textile boxes, and dust coverings. Now, these are some of the scores of military uniforms that will be protected with museum-quality dust coverings.
We have textiles that everything from wedding dresses from the early 1800s.
Stanley says the grant will also help the museum make more efficient use of limited space. She says as more people donate to the museum, making sure there is adequate space is essential. Kevin Mackey, NBC, Montana.
How cool. I've been there before. They have some pretty neat stuff, actually.
Not bad,
Yeah.
huh?
All right, well, Grizz starting practice already. What's going on there?
That's right. Yeah, a lot of Grizz football fans were a little worried last week about the team's offense and how they were going to fare this week. So don't worry, we've got the highlights coming up of their second scrimmage of the spring from Washington Grizzly Stadium. Find out if the offense could get back on track after the break.
This is NBC Montana, getting the facts right.
So, thought you could use something special, for retirement. One last trip through the toy store.
Funny, after all we've been through, this may be my first case of the nerves.
Oh, relax, Agent. I've kept you healthy this long.
Yes, you have, but come tomorrow, your protection may not be there.
I don't see you slowing down anytime soon. Here, take this.
So, you saved the best for last.
I'm Greg Gianforte, and I approve this message.
Can Rob Quist be trusted with our tax dollars? The Billings Gazette says Quist has a 16-year debt trail of unpaid taxes and bills. Rob Quist racked up 15 grand of unpaid property taxes. Quist refused to pay his credit card bills. And Quist cheated a Montana small businessman out of thousands of dollars. Rob Quist. Big taxes, big debt, big mistake.
If you are a business owner, your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to make sure you are top of mind with your customers and future customers by standing out from your competitors. To do this, you will need Exact Image. Exact Image are professionals and personalized promotional products that feature your business. Pins, hats, mugs, and specialty gift items that don't just get used, they get noticed. It's your business brand. Exact Image helps you own it by helping you interact with your customers on personal levels only they can do. Be top of mind with your customers. Call Exact Image today. Exact Image. Elevate your brand.
Bring it on at the Sportsman Ski House. Young lifestyle fashions and accessories for guys and girls from your favorite brands. New swimwear from Volcom, Carr, Billabong, and more. Every day is an adventure. Your brands, your style. Spring it on at the Sportsman Ski House, Kalispell and Whitefish.
Introducing Sculpture, the world's first light-based laser machine to treat stubborn fat.
Hi, I'm Dr. Lisa Pacheco. This versatile system targets stubborn fat in multiple body areas. The laser energy destroys up to 24% of fat in just 25 minutes, permanently destroying unwanted fat cells.
I went to see Dr. Pacheco on my lunch hour. It was very easy, painless, and within weeks I'm already seeing results.
Treat yourself to Sculpture for permanent results by scheduling today at laserfatremovalmt.com.
Watch NBC Montana News weeknights at 5, 6, and 10. And now, sports with Tyler Bergen.
Welcome back. The Grizz football team played its second scrimmage of the spring in Washington Grizzly Stadium today, so let's not waste any time and show you how they did. Starting with the offense, they went for 452 total yards and 3 touchdowns, all of those through the air. It was a much better day for senior quarterback Reese Phillips taking the snaps. He completed 13 of his 18 pass attempts, including a couple of touchdowns. A great day on the ground as well for senior tailback Trayshawn Favors. He led the Grizz ground game with 77 yards on just 8 carries, and it was also a positive day for sophomore receiver Justin Calhoun, catching 3 passes for 66 yards and 2 touchdowns. As you see him take that one 48 yards to the house, and he had some good things to say about his senior quarterback after the game.
Reese is a guy that he understands offense. He's been in it for 2 years, so even when he's not having a good day, he's still going to throw it out there. If we get caught a double move or something like that, he's still going to get it to us.
I was a little nervous last week, I'll be honest, and just it was the first time really going against a real scrimmage and actually playing. So just being more comfortable and like I said, offense, we took it personal. We weren't very good last week, so we took that to heart.
On the defensive side of the ball, more of the same up front. Tucker Shy led the way once again with 3 sacks on the quarterback, while Randy Rodriguez recorded a couple of his own as well. The defense also played takeaway from the offense again, forcing 3 more turnovers. Darian Nash, Corey Alexander, and Markel Sanders right there all had interceptions in this scrimmage. And talking with Sanders after the game, he feels the second scrimmage was a lot less tense than the first.
Everybody was just out there having fun, and I think from this scrimmage compared to the last, it was a lot more just flying around, I think, and as a whole, and a lot more communication on everybody's part, so that was pretty good.
You have to have it that way, because if one side is dominating, then there's a problem. You should have it back and forth, and I love the way our defense is playing, and they're coming up with plays to get the offense off schedule. They're not giving up the big plays, which hurt us in the last half of the season last year. Was you would play man-to-man and give up a 60-yard touchdown. We're not going to do that this year.
The Montana softball team returned home this week after a successful road trip last weekend, and they began play this afternoon sitting alone at the top of the Big Sky standings. Let's show you the highlights of that one. Montana taking on Northern Colorado in a doubleheader today. In the first game, it was all about the pitching of freshman sensation Michaela Hood once again. Here in the top of the second inning, she strikes out the side to keep the game scoreless. To the bottom of the frame, leadoff hitter Gabby Martinez slaps one up the middle to put runners on first and second with 2 away. Next batter, first baseman Ashlyn Lyons, and she takes one the opposite way to left, driving in the game's first run. Grizz go up 1-0 on that 2-out RBI single, and when your ace is on, sometimes you don't need that much run support. Hood breaks her own school record and strikes out 13 batters while allowing just 1 hit, and Montana wins game 1, 1-0. In game 2, the bats showed up for both teams, but another big day from junior shortstop Delaney Colburn surged the Grizzlies ahead early and often in this one. She went 4 for 4 in the game while driving in a career-high tying 6 runs. Maddie Stensby came in a relief effort, pitching 4 2/3 innings to get the win, and the Grizzlies stay atop the conference with a 9-4 victory over the Bears. And that'll do it for your sports. We'll be right back.
Liberal politician Rob Quist wants to sing a duet with Nancy Pelosi. Government-run health care with higher taxes and more spending. The liberal greatest hits. Quist and Pelosi support a gun registry, taking away our Second Amendment rights. And they supported job-killing Washington regulations that threatened businesses right here in Montana. Liberal politician Rob Quist is singing the wrong tune for Montana. The NRCC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Don't miss Conlin's 19-hour super sale this Friday and Saturday only. With daily doorbusters from 9 to 11 a.m. Save 30, 40, up to 70% off select bedroom, dining room, living room furniture, plus mattresses and more. Conlin's will be closed Easter Sunday, so your only chance to save is Friday and Saturday. Get 36-month special financing, plus daily doorbusters from 9 to 11 a.m. Hurry in and save big this Friday and Saturday during the 19-hour super sale, only at Conlin's.
One nice thing I like about Moore Hearing, they've kept up with all the modern improvements and been right there at the top to give you the best service there is. I'm very satisfied. It's always never a dread to go. It's always been a pleasure to go. I feel a great friendship for the people that are there. I've recommended it to everyone that I've talked to that might need hearing.
When terrorism strikes any part of the world, we are there to tell you how you could be affected.
This is less about sort of hordes of terrorists sort of overwhelming the northern border, but more about radicalized individuals.
We work with NBC on getting the top experts.
To do grave damage not only in human toll, but psychologically. That's the new age of terror.
And bring the story home to you.
Police here in Montana obviously have to be worried about any susceptibility.
NBC Montana, getting the facts right.
When faced with divorce, I didn't want to sign my life away to attorneys or use some faceless legal software. I figured I could do most of it myself with a little help. I heard about Montana Legal Advisors. They were just what I needed. Real family law professionals in Western Montana. Legal advice, help with documents, whatever I needed. With Montana Legal Advisors, you stay in control of your costs. You stay in control of your case. You only pay for what you need. It's basically professional help for do-it-yourselfers. Check out montanalegaladvisors.com.
Well, take a look at this next video. A stunning display of colors welcomes visitors at a Southern California tourist attraction.
Oh, wow.
Every spring, colorful rows of flowers stretch across 55 acres at the flower fields in Carlsbad Ranch. In the morning, workers hand select flowers so those who can't see the flowers in person can appreciate them. Bouquets are placed in water with antibacterial solution and sent via air freight all over the country. Wow. Well, I'm going to be in Southern California in a couple weeks, so hopefully I can maybe stop by then.
Well, and these have got to be the best flowers they've had in a long time. Now that California's out of the drought, everything is so green over there.